A tree diagram, or as they're sometimes referred to as decision trees, is a graph that helps to organize calculations that involve several stages. And we'll use the data from the executives example and our contingency table example to explain the decision trees. To construct a tree diagram, we begin by drawing the dot on the left to represent the root of the tree. And then what we'll do is, for this problem, we have two main branches that go out of the root, and the upper one is those executives who would remain, and those executives who would not remain would be in the lower tree branch. The probabilities for each of these are written on their branches. 120 out of 200 would remain, and 80 out of 200 would not remain. If we go back to the table, we can see that we have 120 would remain and 80 who would not remain. And the probabilities could be labeled as the probability of A sub 1 and the probability of A sub 2. 120 would remain would be the A sub 1. The four branches, then for each of the two branches that come out of the root, 4 branches come from each of those. So those are to represent the conditional probabilities that we have, and they represent the length of service, which is less than 1 year, 1 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, and over 10 years. The conditional probabilities for the upper branch of the tree is 10 divided by 120, and 30 divided by 120, and 5 divided by 120, and 75 divided by 120. And they're written on the appropriate branches. And these could be also considered as the probability of B sub 1 condition with the conditional or given A sub 1. The probability of B sub 2 given A sub 1, and so on. Where B sub 1 refers to less than 1 year of service. B sub 2 refers to 1 to 5 years, B sub 3 is 6 to 10 years, and B sub 4 is more than 10 years. We would also write in the conditional probabilities for the lower or would not remain branch. So we would do the same thing down here as well. Then finally we have the joint probabilities that the events A sub 1 and B sub 1 occur. And in this case here we have the generic formula on the top of A sub I and B sub I. For example, the joint probability of randomly selecting an executive who would remain with the company and who has less than 1 year of service, over here, from the formula in the upper right hand corner, is the probability of both event A sub 1 and B sub 1 is equal to the probability of A sub 1 times the probability of B sub 1 given A sub 1, which equals 120 divided by 200, which equals 0.05. So the probability of randomly selecting an executive who would remain with the company and who has less than 1 year of service is 0.05. And you can do the same steps for any of the other joint probabilities that we're searching for.